I spent the last 30 days looking for reptiles and amphibians throughout the swamps of Maryland with the hopes of finding the rarest frog possible, a completely blue tree frog. So let's see if we can find it. On the first night, I found this female American bullfrog that wasn't too thrilled to be picked up. But after getting her out of the road, we released her into some grass, and we were also able to come up on a textbook Fowler's toad. Night 2 was very similar. I saw this young bullfrog and was able to yoink him up, and then saw an even bigger one down in the drain. There were also a bunch of large tadpoles in the pond too. Day 3, we headed back to the pond and I spotted this giant snapper in the mud. Unfortunately, he caught me off guard and I took a tumble, okay? I know. Morale was getting low pretty early in the challenge until day 4. I found a huge rat snake and I was even able to find a pair of garter snakes, one of which being almost completely bronze color, which I've never seen in my life. Let me know if any of you guys have ever seen a garter like this. Day 5, I explored a new area full of lush plant life, but I was really only able to find this leopard frog. But the next day, things started to heat up as I road cruised this hatchling diamondback terrapin. He was no bigger than a quarter, and with the weather being super hot, I moved him to a shaded part of the marsh so he could stay cool and stay out of the heat. On day 7, this was repeated with an adult terrapin on a busy road. It's egg laying season over here, so I moved him near the water in the direction she was going so she could regroup and feel safe. Day 8, I was able to find a beautiful male eastern box turtle. You can tell it's a male by the reddish eyes and concavity in the shell, as well as overall brighter colors. Day 9, I had a run-in with a genius of a black racer. No matter how hard I tried to grab him, I wasn't able to. I've never not seen a black racer evade into a thorn bush, and this guy was able to burn me. On day 10, I decided to head out and look for that fabled blue tree frog once more. Wow, this is very bright. All right guys, so there is green tree frogs everywhere. The way to find these guys is to follow the sound. So there's a bunch of fish down in there. I don't know if you guys can even see it, but there's a bunch of fish that are like swimming all in there. So we got a green tree frog right over here. I'm gonna take you to him. So he's right there. You hear him being super loud. Guys, take a look at that little amphibian. Hyla cinerea, the green tree frog, man. My favorite native amphibian. Unfortunately, just greens tonight. All right, you guys, so there is a gray tree frog somewhere right in this area. Honestly, right on top of him, but I cannot find him. I'm so close to him that his calls are rattling my... Bro, I can feel his calls in my brain. Like, that's how... Oh, it actually hurts. It's so loud, but I can't find him. Again, day 11, I was able to find multiple green and gray tree frogs, even a little garter snake, but the blue tree frog was still evading me with no trace. Day 12 was super warm. I headed to a new salt marsh spot and I was actually able to find another gorgeous male eastern box turtle right near the brackish water. Super uncharacteristic for this species. So I revisited that same spot the next day to find a spotted turtle, one of the rarest turtles in my area. So it was at this point we were racking up a fair amount of species, right? But it seemed like no matter where I looked, even at night, there was just no sign of that blue tree frog. Even that night, I just kept striking out. Day 13 produced another beautiful black rat snake who was completely cool with me interacting with him. By far one of my favorite snakes. Conversely, I also found a water snake who did not want me around, and he made that very clear. Day 14, I took my brother back to that spot and he was able to bring a water snake up with a snake hook. Unfortunately, he's scared of snake musk, so it escaped from us. I also found this baby mud turtle on the road. Day 15 brought another, even friendlier rat snake that I released onto a tree, only to look up into a different tree and see another one crawling up the bark. Black rat snakes can be highly arboreal and climb trees to raid bird nests for eggs, fledglings, or escape predators. And also another mud turtle, you can never go wrong there. Day 16, I found a baby eastern box turtle foraging in some shallow water. Box turtles are great swimmers despite their appearance, and when the weather's hot, they will usually retreat into shallow or muddy pools to cool off. So we're road cruising in this swamp called Blackwater, and we found on the road a little DK's brown snake. Take a look at this little cutie, man. Pause. That's the snake's focused. Be a cool picture. A very harmless, small snake that eats slugs, worms, and really patrols around dusk. On day 18, I didn't have my camera on me, but I was actually able to find a hypo green tree frog. It wasn't the blue one we were looking for, but it was a color mutation, so we were getting close. Day 19, I was able to find another beautiful garter after a bunch of normal green tree frogs. Garters are avid frog eaters, so I know he was out here trying to get a meal, so I let him go back to hunting. On day 20, I found this really cool pipefish, which I know isn't a reptile, but it's a close relative to seahorses. I was also able to find a beautiful black racer under a board I'd placed down. I was happy to finally get my lick back on those black racers, man. Even though they can be a little bit cantankerous, they're still one of my favorite snakes ever. And you will never be let down by their energy. Day 21, I found one of the most gorgeous water snakes I've ever seen. The camera didn't really pick it up, but he almost had a blue tint to him. I was able to also find this beautiful eastern chain king snake hanging out. They're called king snakes for a reason, so this guy was definitely out on the hunt for other snakes to eat. Over 3 whole weeks into this project, I was honestly starting to lose hope. We found some of the rarest turtles, snakes, and animals in the state of Maryland, but on the 22nd day of searching, this is what happened. I can't believe this. I was finally able to find a blue tree frog. This is not edited, this is not Photoshop. This frog is actually this blue. This color is caused by xanthicism. Xanthicism removes yellow pigment from an animal. So if you take a green tree frog and remove the yellow pigment, it becomes a beautiful blue color. I'm not sure the chances of finding a frog like this, but this seems like a once in a lifetime experience. And after admiring him, I gently released him back into the wild in the hopes of one day finding some of his offspring in the same area.